Yes, the entire Pokemon fandom is now blowing up because we had the official reveal of what the 3 starter Pokemon from Sun and Moon and the legendaries are going to be looking like in Pokemon Sun and Moon. Now, this video is going to be mainly talking about actually the starter Pokemon and the legendaries themselves. I don't think actually that the legendaries like have revealed like their names yet. We're going to be talking about the stars, and the first one, which is a grass and flying type known as Rowlet, can attack without making any sound. It flies silently through the skies, drawing near to its opponents without being noticed, and then lashing out with powerful kicks. It also attacks from a distance using razor-sharp leaves that form part of its feathers. And it's saying that, oh yeah, it uses a move Leafage, attacks an opponent by striking it with leaves. Now, I'm actually curious about that because that isn't Razor Leaf. That's a brand new actual grass type move that Pokemon's having, and that is the first grass and fly. I believe this is the first flying type starter, if I believe from there. Like, I know Piplup had flying type moves, but I think he was always just water type. He was never once actually became a flying type. Maybe Prilpup might have been the second evolution. Like, I believe Prilpup might have been, but I'm not too sure about that. I definitely remember Empoleon being a steel type, but that's really interesting that like this one's going to be like kind of like grass and flying combined. So that's a very interesting combination. I believe this is the first one of that type except for Tropius, or Tropicus. I forget what the Pokemon's name is from Ruby and Sapphire, but the flying dinosaur that was a grass and flying one. So like that's actually really cool. And then getting into the next one, we're going to get into the next one known as Litten, which is just a plain fire type cat, logical but always passionate. Litten always remains cool-headed and doesn't show its emotions on the surface. And Litten can attack with flaming hairballs. Its fur is rich in oil and immensely flammable. Litten grooms itself by licking its fur and then uses collected fur as fuel for a fireball attack. When the time comes for Litten to shed its old fur, it burns up in a glorious blaze. The move Ember attacks is the first thing it'll have. Like, so that's kind of interesting. Like, Litten looks really just like, like, I guess that's the whole thing that they're going for. Like he's just going, don't give a fuck, yeah. Like, and it's like, well, he's a fire type, but he's actually very cool-headed, you know, get it? Like, I like Litten. I've never really picked fire type Pokemon, like, throughout, like, all the games. The only exception was during the original Gold. Like, Cyndaquil, nothing will ever touch Cyndaquil. Like, fucking Cyndaquil is a fucking adorable, and then it turns into Typhlosion, and Typhlosion is fucking a beast. And next is the one I've actually wanted to talk about, and it's the water type, and it's Popular. Like, swim speed is known to exceed like 25 miles per hour. It's better at moving in water than on land. Still, when it's on land, it takes advantage of the elasticity of its balloons to perform acrobatic stunts and jumps. And as you can see, it's like a little, it's got a big red nose, just and it's like a little seal. Like, and I've this is the one that I'm a little bit on, because like I've always picked like the water types from them, and like every time, even like when I'd had like the first look at them, I've been like, yeah, that's cool. Like when I saw Froakie like from Y, like, you know, I was like, okay, Froakie immediately, even regardless, on the first starter evolution like that, I was having it. And then when I saw like Greninja, I was like, that's fucking sealed right there. I don't give a fuck about Chestnut, don't give a fuck about the, like, you know, like any of that, I don't give a fuck about Furnikid. It was all about Greninja, and I know a lot of people agree with me that being like the first water, like, combined with the dark type, I think that was really fucking cool for a star type Pokemon. I don't know though, it's just like there's something off with this like character. I'm like, I really don't, I kind of don't like this design a little joke. I mean, like, we still don't know anything about, like, honestly, like, still to this day, I think there are worse starter Pokemon on there. Like, I really don't like Turtwig that much. Come there, I like his evolution, and it's like, I'm like, like, when it comes to me, I'm always like water types to me. Like, apart from Gold, original Gold, it was always, I would have, yeah, like Squirtle, like that, and then it was like, oh, Turtwig, nah, like, get that, give me that Piplup, give me Oshawott, give me Froakie. I think, like, yeah, the only exceptions I've ever had to, like, the water types and all that was, like, oh, I'm gonna have Trico, oh, I'm gonna have, like, Cyndaquil. Those are the ever exceptions, and every other time I played it, I was like, oh, is this gonna be like either gonna go back to like Heart Gold, or if I'm gonna play like the remake and all that, it's like, oh, I'm gonna have the Trico, or I'm gonna have Cyndaquil every other time, and I've always been like, okay, since then, like that, unless there's a real big exception on the adorable level, or on the badass level, then I will always have like a water type Pokemon, because that's just how it always is with my combination of my team. And then we have a look at the legendary Pokemon, which we only get to see. We get to see what the front cover is actually going to look like now. And the Sun version is this just giant lion. And be like, okay, you nailed that design immediately. This big white lion with its mane. I'm like, you know, you nailed that. And honestly, I've got to say the moon one looks really ugly, actually. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Is that supposed to be like a bat that like combines itself into a moon? Like, I didn't see a lot of it, but it was like, I was looking at that and I was like, wow, that looks like a really ugly Pokemon. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was really wondering about that, and like, a little bit on the eye, like, I'm not the most in-depth when it comes to, like, oh, let's have a look at the world, like, where we're at and all that, but it looks like a lot of beach levels, like, from what I was seeing from, like, so maybe you start on a beach level, because, like, the guy was revealing the star Pokemon. Like, I really, really liked X and Y. I really did like it a lot. I really hope, though, like, not that they have to do black and white, where every single Pokemon that is there is completely, you know, new Pokemon. But I kind of don't want the XY where there's so little new Pokemon out there, like, and the rest is just like, oh yeah, here's some old ones, yeah, here's a Budu or something like that, or like, here's an evolution of a Pokemon, or a de-evolution of a Pokemon that you've never wanted before. They haven't talked anything about that so far, but like I said, we have like a lion and a bat-like creature for the legendaries, and so far, like, a lot of the time when I normally pick what type I'm gonna get, like, most of the time it isn't like gonna be like, a lot of it's gonna be about, oh well, what a legendary is it gonna be. But no, it's actually more going to be focusing on, like, oh, what Pokemon are going to be in that one. So, like, I had a big, like, this, like, choice and all that. I kind of like Xerneas a little bit more than Yveltal, or where this one is, on Y. But I actually made the decision because I was like, there were more Pokemon that I wanted. Like, I wanted to, like, the Noivern, I wanted all those Pokemon in there, and it was like, that's the only choice I had. So, honestly, it's only till, like, the entire, like, probably the roster's entirely leaked and, like, out there, that I'll finally choose which one I want. Now, I'm very interested in, like, how that this one is taking place, so, you know, like on Hawaii and stuff. Like, for, like, what a lot of people were saying at the start, and, like, what people are suggesting is that, oh, they were going to take it back to the roots, they were going to go back to Japan, but from what, like, a lot of people were saying is, like, oh, no, we're going to, like, Hawaii and stuff. I'm like, okay, that could be interesting, or, like, we could be on different islands, and then we move to, like, a Japan setting, or something. Like, I think that'd be kind of cool. Like, they're doing something very interesting and all that, so, like, I'm curious, though, what's going to be happening with this one, because, like, this is, like, the one only chance with Pokemon where it's, like, it's always one Pokemon game, you know, for a generation of console. This is on the 3DS as well, so this is, like, combining it with XY. There's a lot of questions and all that, and I'm going to save that for the professionals, though, to answer all that stuff for us. But honestly, at the moment, it's Litten for me at the moment. Like, I hate to break the cycle of water types, unless, like, I see, like, Poplito's, like, evolutions, and I'm, like, saying, okay, Poplito, like, he looks really badass on there. Like, I could be surprised, and I'm like, I thought Oshawott was kind of cute and all that, but then he came out with Samurott, and I was like, yo, Samurott looking beast. So I was like, okay, well, I have to see and all that, but that's all from me. So if you love Pokemon as much as I do, then hit that like, hit that subscribe. Hopefully we'll be hearing some more news. I probably won't be covering much more of it. I doubt it. Maybe I might cover a little bit, but at the moment, I think I'll leave that to professionals, like, you know, the ones that, you know, mainly focus on Pokemon stuff. But I'll see you guys next time.